Well, the Bears are back in the win column today. The Bears get a much needed victory against the Browns. And we move on to be 10-4 now on the season. First 10-win season in a very long time. I think it's the first 10-win season since 2018, last held by Matt Nagy, but the Bears again win. It was again another convincing win, a win where we could just breathe a sigh of relief, sit back, get a cup of coffee, and enjoy the game. It did get dicey at some points in that game, but look, man, it is what it is. The Bears went out of their way, took care of business, and did their damn thing. So look, you can't even be mad at that. You can't even be mad because it's just good. It's good all around, right? Good all around. So the Bears end up winning 31-3 against the Browns. The Browns are just a bad team. Like they are just bad. Um, Look, man, like just to start the game off for them, like, dude, they were completely discombobulated from the jump. And then like after we scored a touchdown, they get the kickoff, the ensuing kickoff, and then they get a delay of game coming off a kickoff. And I'm like, what the hell? They had to go to the sideline and everything. So yeah, look, I think Shador Sanders is a very talented quarterback. Um, Now, you know, the situation there is just bad. It's just bad all around. So that's the thing. Now, I personally didn't think he played too good. Now you can blame the two of the three interceptions on him. The second interception, Jerry Judy's got to catch that if we're being honest. Like, and I was about to say, I'm like Jalen Johnson getting cooked, and lucky enough, uh, Judy didn't catch that, and Jalen Johnson somehow found a way to hold on to that. But look, you'll take it. The Bears, they handle business. The defense handled the business from the jump. This is probably the first complete game I've seen in a while since probably that Cowboys game where the Bears defense on all ends, they did their thing. When the offense did something stupid, they still found a way to get stops and do everything. Now, again, the only thing I will say about the defense is I don't like the all-out blitzes. There was multiple times this game that the all-out blitzes just did not work. Isaiah Bond was running free, just free. So, look, I hope next week against the Packers, we don't play this all-out blitzing defense like crazy because Jordan Love picked us apart like easy. But I thought the defense played really well. We obviously got pressure on Shador Sanders, got him down to sack, but that's to be expected because the Browns had all their offense alignment out with the exception of Tevin Jenkins. And then funny enough, Tevin Jenkins ended up getting hurt in the game. Like ended up getting hurt and destroyed in that game, his shoulder injury. So when I saw that report, oh, Tevin Jenkins is out due to injury for the rest of the game. I'm like, oh, that does not surprise me in the slightest. Because that's what Tevin Jenkins typically does. Injury prone player, right? So the Bears defense again did a good job. We forced three interceptions off of Shador Sanders. The first interception from DeMarco Jackson, insane. He basically batted up, tipped it to himself, caught it because I was at a situation where the ball offense, they just couldn't get anything going for them. And then, that turnover basically helped the offense get the ball rolling to get this blowout that they ended up doing because for the longest time it was 14-0. And at some point I'm like, okay, we got to do something, otherwise like we're gonna be in trouble, right? They're getting the ball back, they got some momentum, they get a touchdown, and turns it into a 1 point game, and then DeMarco Jackson changes it in one play, and then from then on there, boom, there's that. Um, look, credit to the Bears defense. They showed up against an inferior opponent and they played up to the level that they should be playing at. You know, big plays and they didn't miss any tackles. Realistically, they went some tackles. Like for example, C.J. Gardner Johnson would have had a sack. He would have had a sack on Shador, but Shador avoided him and picked up a rushing yard. And luckily, his knee was down before he got the first down. But that's exactly my point. The defense, they just got a better technique with making tackles, and I think they're too worried about getting these big hits instead of just wrapping up and chopping their feet and coming in at a nice pace to where you're not whiffing on tackles. So there's that. They shut down Dora. They shut down Quinshawn Judkins today. I was actually shocked by that. Um, they shut him down. Like he did absolutely nothing today. And sadly, I had him start on my fantasy team, but it's not like my fantasy team was going to do anything anyway special. But you get my point. Like they shut him down to the point they made the Browns offense one dimensional. Um, so there's that. But that was a good thing. But then again, it's like it doesn't help the fact that I just felt like the Browns just didn't commit to the run. They just like put everything on Shadora's back. And those conditions in that weather, right? Like you have to question, like, dog, are they really putting this dude in the best position to succeed? And again, like I said, he didn't play great himself. But like the fact that, like, let me look at the stats. Like, dog, Quinshon Judkins only got 12 yards, 12 carries for 21 yards rushing. Like, that's not even enough carries. Like Shador had over 35 attempts. Now, again, some of that has to do with like garbage time stats and everything, but I felt like the Browns realistically, they just didn't commit to the run and they just went away from it instantly. So, all right, I guess. Isaiah Bond was our leading receiver. He did most of the work for them today. Harold Fannin Jr., we shut him down, albeit he had 7 receptions, but we shut him down. And I think the broadcasters, and shockingly enough, we had Daryl Johnston on the call too. And he, the last few years, has been like a hater of the Bears. I was actually pleasantly surprised. Like half his commentary today was straight up positivity about the Bears. I don't know if that has something to do with Ben Johnson or the fact that their Bears have actually had a good season this year. But man, I remember like the I just remember like when he called Bears games last year, bro, he was very hypercritical of fucking Caleb, even when it wasn't his fault. And I'm like, dog, what the fuck? So it was absolutely hilarious just to see him actually being like super critical of the other team, and he's being absolutely positive about our team. Because I hate when Daryl Johnson calls games because he finds any piece or any nook or cranny to criticize Bears football, but today he couldn't do it. So yeah, but look, the Bears defense, they did what they needed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. You go out there, stop an inferior opponent, don't let them get any confidence, and you shut them down. But then again, like I said, like the Browns just didn't do themselves any favors either. Like just from the first offensive snap they had, they were all discombobulated. It's as if they weren't prepared to play a game today. Now, again, I don't know if Kevin Stefanski is going to get fired, but I guess the track record would show, like, well, the fact that you look at this and how discombobulated this was, you would think, oh, yeah, he probably is going to get fired. But we don't know. I guess we'll see. But again, you know, as much as the pain and suffering I've had as a Bears fan, thank Christ I'm not a Browns fan because, good Lord. Like, I think they showed, like, a breakdown. Albeit we're the second team in the NFL that's had the most quarterback start. These dudes have like 12 more quarterbacks. They played more than we've had starting quarterbacks. They had 42. So arguably, it just goes to show the dysfunction these two organizations have been in when it comes to handling quarterbacks and just their whole process when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks and putting them in the best positions to succeed. And again, it's looking like we may not have to have that problem for a few years with the way Caleb's playing. So there's that, right? There is that. But anyways, that's all I got to say about the defense. The defense did their thing. Like when you can get 3 turnovers and you sack the quarterback and you're creating pressure and everything, and it's good. This is what I expect to see. Now, hopefully next week against the Packers, we get some pressure and we get some sacks. I still thought there was a few times in this game, like, you had the sack right then and there, and the defender's still not able to get to Shedeur Sanders. Like, on one of the sacks he took, he was holding the ball for like 5+ seconds, bro. And our defensive linemen could not get off backup offensive linemen off their blocks. Like, Dexter ended up making the sack. But it's like, dude, that took forever. Like, come on now. You guys can't get off your blocks against second stringers? And that's why I'm saying we need to massively upgrade this defensive line, bro. Massively upgrade this defensive line. Like all these like most of the picks next year in the draft should be defensive line trenches because we need that help there. Because this defensive line is generating little to next to no pressure. Today we got away with it because the Browns are playing basically backups. So of course you expect to get pressure and get sacks on a backup offensive line. But you get my point, right? It's an absolute joke that we can't even find a way to generate any pressure and consistent pressure at that. But if we're able to do this next week against the Packers, then it could be good for us. So there's that. But anyways, special teams I thought was fine. Devin Duvernay, I think he had his best game of the year because he just returned. Excuse me. He just returned the ball really good today, from kickoff, from opening kickoff, then on there on, and then the punt returns. He had some good kickoff returns. He looked good today. What more do I expect? The return game looked good today. Coverage team looked great today. Outside of the shank that Tory Taylor had, I thought Tory Taylor had a good day punting the ball. He actually pinned the Browns back deep. Who would have thought? And he actually needed to kick like a freaking punter. He actually kicked like one. And then Cairo Santos again. Look, again, like I said before, I'll say it again. I respect that Cairo Santos is an accurate kicker, but I'm so done with this guy. I'm so done with this guy. We can find a guy off the street to kick field goals, and they'll do a better job than Cairo Santos. Cairo Santos, yet again, missed another field goal today. He missed a 30-yard field goal, a chip shot field goal, and he misses it. Now, I know Myles Garrett was coming off the edge right there and almost blocked it, but still, he gets paid a lot of money to make these kicks, and he ain't making no fucking kicks. It's been the problem with him. And again, I'm looking at the other end. The Browns kicker made a 50-yard field goal in this type of weather, same direction Cairo Santos was kicking when he missed it. Look, I know we had the kicking issue for years till we found Cairo, but honestly, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. Cut Cairo Santos and cut him loose. I'm getting sick and tired of his missed kicks. He's proclaimed as this accurate kicker. But like, for example, you look at the freaking situation where we had it, fourth down, 4th and 5, right? And it's not in Cairo Santos' range. We can't even attempt to kick a field goal before going into halftime. Even if it is in that weather. But I'm just saying, like, frick. If we had a stronger led kicker, maybe we attempt that and we freaking make a field goal and make it 17-3 going into half. But like, that's the shit I'm talking about. Like that is what that's the stuff I'm talking about. Like it was absolutely, or 17-0 going into halftime. My bad. But that's the joke I'm talking about. Complete joke. That's what I'm saying. Move Cairo Santos and let's just get another fucking kicker. Like frick. Because the new kicker, if you do that, the new kicker should already be going to Soldier Field the moment he gets signed and kicking in Soldier Field. And understanding, okay, I need to learn how to kick in these elements and stuff like that and how the ball trajects and everything so then I know what I'm doing. But you get what I mean there. It's shit. I'm just done with Cairo Santos. For me, he's missed too many kicks this year to warrant coming back next year. I'll take the risk of a kicker being more inaccurate, but I know he's got a leg. We got kickers from the UFL coming up to the NFL, and they're making kicks. And the Bears keep on to Cairo Santos as if he's some sort of dude that is so accurate. He can't kick long distances. I'd rather have a kicker with a strong leg that can kick 50-plus yard field goals. So, whatever, man. Whatever. I'll live with the punches. I love the punches. The offense I thought was good today. Caleb Williams, look, man, he was good today. He was good today. He definitely had over. I hope everybody's happy. He had over 50% completion percentage or 59% completion percentage. 17 of 28. And let me do the math for everybody. 17, 20 divided by 28. He had a 60 he had a 60 completion percentage. And now that actually would have been higher today. But again, we had the typical norm of drops, 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 drops. Luther Burden dropped a pass, Cole Kmet dropped a pass. Like Zacchaeus slipped. That may have been a completion. He slipped, which led to an incompletion there. Like, we got to factor this in. I don't care about the completion percentage, in my honest opinion. But like Ninja, you look at some of the fact that he puts the ball in the money to the receivers and he drops it. Kyle Monangai dropped 2 passes today. And guess what? We saw a lot of DeAndre Swift today. After Kyle Monangai dropped that simple screen pass, we barely saw him at all in this game. It was mostly DeAndre Swift. And I have a feeling that they did that because he dropped a pass. And they said, you know what, kid? You're barely going to get any reps today. Because we had the play drawn up perfectly. And the way the play was drawn up, that screen pass, Kyle Monangai, if he caught that, he may have went it to the house and housed that. So I think that's why, more than likely, Ben Johnson, Eric Bieniemy, and the offensive staff said, no, he ain't playing too much today. You don't catch the ball, and it's a simple screen pass that you can't catch, that when we drew up, it would have been gone. It would have been housed for a TD. If not, it puts us in first and goal. Well, then, no, I'm not going to play you today. That's the issue. The reason why the completion percentage isn't high is because we got fucking drops. The Bears are still dropping passes. Caleb Williams be putting the money on the putting the ball on the money, and these guys dropping passes. Getting paid millions of dollars, and you guys can't catch a simple pass. I just hope Kyle Monangai, he ain't like Kyle Herbert, where he can run the hell out of the ball, but he can't pass catch, because that was Herbert's problem. Well, actually, he could somewhat catch, right? The only issue is he couldn't pass block. But you get my point. Because if he can pass catch just like how DeAndre Swift can, then it makes the offense a lot more dynamic. And this has been an issue with Kyle Monangai in the season. He hasn't been able to catch footballs that are checkdowns and everything. He drops them every time I check. We throw to Monangai, he drops it. So it makes sense why Ben Johnson and the coaching staff say, "Hey man, take a seat. You're not going to get much action because you can't catch the football, and I'm not going to deal with this BS." So he barely got any reps today from what I saw, because if I go to the box score, he only had 11. He had 11 carries, not much on the ground, but you get my point. DeAndre Swift, 18 carries for 98 yards, 2 TDs. Amazing. His second touchdown run was crazy. Like it was gonna be like, it looked like it was gonna be stuffed, but again, DeAndre Swift finds a way to get into the end zone. And again, you know, it's always these things with DeAndre Swift again. Every single time, there's games where I'm like, dude, he looks like he's not it. And then next thing you know, he turns around and plays a physical brand of football in this game. And I'm like, dude, why can't he play like this consistently? So there's that. The receiving core, they did their thing today. Luther Burden, 6 reception, 84 yards. DJ Moore, he had 4 receptions for 69 yards, 2 TDs. I guess that shut everybody up. It shut me up, most definitely. So when he gets to be more of a little bit of a focal point, he's catching touchdowns. It makes things better. Makes the offense go better. Colson Loveland, 4 receptions, 63 yards receiving. Cole Kmet, 2 receptions, 28 yards. So, there's that. And then Caleb Williams, again, another good day. 242 yards passing, 2 TDs, only took 3 sacks today. You'll take that. You'll take it. And over 59% completion percentage. He got 60. So I hope people are happy that he got a 60. But again, this Bears offense looked good today. Bears offense looked good when they finally got that turnover, I'll tell you that. But they looked good to start the game off. First drive was just bad. I don't know what the fuck that was. And then the next 2 drives after that, they were moving the ball, and they were moving the ball efficiently too. And they were doing a damn good job. And then We get in the red zone again to look to go up 21 nothing, and then Ben Johnson for whatever reason calls a a end around or like a handoff right to Colson Loveland. Why is he giving? Why? Why are we doing that? This has kind of been my issue with Ben Johnson this year. He just gets too cute for me in some certain moments. Like, and I just and this is just my overall thing. Like, there was times in the games where I'm just like, dude, just run the ball. You're running down these dudes' throats. They can't handle you. And you go on and we're still passing. And I'm like, dude, I don't care about giving Caleb all these statistics. Just run the ball. If you're running the ball consistently down their throat, keep running it down their throats till they can stop it. And there's too many. There's just too many times they were. I'm just thinking like the outcome should have been run, run, run instead of pass or a play action pass or something. And it's just like, dude, come on now. Like we got to like just be better, man, with the play calls. But look, that's the thing with Ben Johnson. He's gonna do these play calls where you're gonna be scratching your head like, what the fuck? Because I thought in the middle of that game, in that second quarter, in the middle of that third quarter, they lost their identity there for a second. And I'm like, dude, just run the ball. Right? But Caleb Williams, he did his thing today, dude. The DJ Moore touchdown, bro. I don't even know how the hell he did that. He's rolling to his left, throwing off his back foot, throwing across his body, and somehow he gets enough air to get it over the defender into DJ Moore's arm. I legitimately thought that ball was intercepted, and I thought that the announcer was like, "Oh my God, Caleb Williams just threw the interception right back to him." I was just about to be pissed. I'm like, dude, this is why you just run the football. But then DJ Moore came on. I'm like, wait, what just fucking happened? It was kind of honest to God, my same exact reaction to the Jalen Johnson interception. Because it looked like, oh, Jerry Jeudy caught that for a touchdown. And then the announcers were like, oh my God, Jalen Johnson got the interception. And I'm just like, huh? As you know, the blue monster meme, right? From Monsters versus Aliens. It was like that look where he's like, dog. I was just in utter shock, and I'm like, uh, I'll take it. Now I know in the film room, Ben Johnson be like, "Hey man, do not do that again, because you do that against a better defense, and albeit you can make the case like this is a top 2 NFL defense for the Browns, right? But any event, you don't do that. I hope Ben Johnson tells him, don't do that again. Thank you, you bailed me out there, but don't do that next time, because I don't think that's gonna work 9 out of 10 times. That's the type of crazy USC play he did at USC, or even Oklahoma, if you want to be honest, but mostly at USC. But hey, Caleb Williams had a good stat line against the top 2 defense in the NFL, or top 5 defense in the NFL. So, for people saying that he can't play against top defenses, well, he just did. He proved it last week too. He just made one mistake last week. But other than that, he played a solid game against the top NFL defense of the Packers. So he'll take it. Look, nothing else for me to say here, to be honest. The Bears just found a way to win. You get your win. You beat a team that you should have beaten. Plain and simple. So you'll take it. You'll take it. It was cold today. Thank God I wasn't there. Now I live in California, but geez Louise, my dad's from Chicago, and he told me multiple times during watching the game. He knows how that feels. So for people who went to the game, I hope you guys thought out, because it wasn't worth it for me. I still don't know how those players play in that type of weather. But look, next Saturday we got our revenge game against the Packers. Hopefully we can win and beat the Packers at home, because we need to get a revenge, because that way we control our own destiny. And right now, looking at the game, which it's not on right now. The Packers are up 6-0. So hopefully the Broncos can do us a favor and win, and do that. And then right now the Rams and the Lions are tied, which I would hope the Rams beat the Lions, because we need any type of distance away from the Lions we can get. The more games the Lions lose, even if we do lose, maybe the next 3 games of the stretch, right? We would have to hope that Tampa Bay also loses more games too, because we don't want them to sing in the playoffs, right? But we just gotta hope like Tampa Bay and Detroit lose, but mostly Detroit, right? And realistically, that means we got to just get one of the next 3 games to lock us up a playoff spot, right? So You know, you got to hope the outside stuff happens and you win. And then you just got to take advantage, take care of business and win. Because again, the Bears realistically right now they control their own destiny. They got to just keep winning games. If they want to lock themselves up a playoff spot because, you know, it'll go just as quickly as that if you just start losing these next 3 games. So the next 3 games are going to be the stretch where it's going to prove: are we going to be go out there and be a get to the playoffs? Or are we going to go out there and we're just going to come up just short? So look, next week you got to go get revenge against Packers. That's a game that we should win. We got to win at home. We got the made a valiant comeback, but it came up just short. It just showed me you can hang in with the Packers. 49ers, you got to go on the road in San Francisco and go beat a 49ers team that is a gritty team. And then obviously you return at home, which a game might be for a spot in the playoffs. It's going to go get revenge for the atrocities of getting your asses beat from week 2 against the Lions and having them come to your building and you guys got to get revenge and go beat them. And hopefully Ben Johnson can get the last laugh and say fuck all. Because how great would that be if you beat the Lions and you send them back home packing? So look, we're gonna watch this game. I need Denver to hurry up and fucking wake up. I need the Rams to. The Rams should be up 14-7, but then Stafford threw a terrible interception. But we'll see how it goes. And then, yeah. But other than that, next Bears game recap will be next Saturday. Saturday against the Packers. Hopefully the Bears pull out a way to win, and we can be happy that we got to win against the Packers. But anyways, gonna catch you guys on the next video, and I will see you guys later. Till then, guys, hit that subscribe button if you want more Bears content or any other sports content I upload to the channel. But till then, guys, peace.